Hi guys, this is an update on the pcDuino I've been playing with. I've put an SD card in the slot there, a 32 gig SD card. Got a little breadboard from work. There should be resistors on there, but I don't really care. So I had trouble playing YouTube from Chromium browser. It would start to play and then just before the ads finished it would fall over. Someone suggested I try with the XBMC Media Center, and after I downloaded a YouTube app I was able to watch YouTube on there. So that's cool. This desktop is capable of streaming YouTube. I haven't tried it in 1080p, it was coming down at 720p, it didn't buffer at all, so that's pretty cool. I've been playing around with this scratch. It's for the pcDuino. I don't know how they've changed it, so I'll give you an idea of what I've done in here. I've been saving files to the SD card to save room on the main onboard RAM. So let's go to that. So it's in there. Basically, the first bunch of tutorials I watched were, graphics based things where a shark moved around in a fishy world, or something like that. You can make little games where cars move around the screen, or so the first thing I did just for kicks was make a little squirrel appear. So when space pressed, squirrel pops up, makes a noise. So squirrel 5, squirrel 4, 3, 2, 1, call a sound, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I couldn't find a way to get the sprite to come off screen and into screen, so as a workaround I used, I basically edited the sprite and moved the little squirrel incrementally down and deleted the bottom of him. I did have a problem with the one where he was completely off screen, because I couldn't pull it down off screen and then drop it below. So I basically had to make a sprite with a yellow handle on it and move it as far down as possible to get it off screen, so that it called up nearly a blank sequence. So there is that artifact of the little the handle that I had to put on that sprite. There's probably a sequence where I can call for no sprite for a moment. I guess I could probably take it out and just put a weight in there. I guess that would work. Let's see how it works there. Yeah, that works. Okay, so I kind of wasted my time there, but sometimes you try to do workarounds that aren't obvious. Alright, so that's an update, so I can ditch that and take that costume out of the sprite sequence. Okay, I can delete that one. So he's gone, so now it's only 4 costumes for the squirrel sprite, and I can file save. So this is cool for entertaining the baby. I can play around with this and put lots of little critters coming popping up with different key presses. So moving right along to turning this into a button and something that can control an output. Okay, so then I decided I would draw myself some buttons. So I went and drew power and LED flash. Okay, so what I've done here is I actually drew these sprites. That sprite there is button number 1. Button number 1 has 2 costumes. I drew these and edited these up in this, what looks a lot like Microsoft Paint. Here's the interface here. So the first one I drew, so I basically just drew a rectangle and then put rounded corners on it by using a circle, and then chopping a piece of the pie out with the select tool. and then I put corners on. You can rotate things, so I just used one corner of a circle and rotated it to fit into each edge after making a rectangle and deleting the corners, so I had a rounded looking button rather than a square one. So it's quite, user friendly in that you can assign anything to a sprite, so it doesn't matter what the thing is. You need a sprite to add function to it, and in this case the fun thing that I did with this was the first sprite has a darkened LED light, and then the second has a power button, so when you press the thing it calls the next costume and appears that it looks like it has an on state. So if I press that button there, light comes on, indicator light flashes, off button will turn them all back to the first one. And if we look at red light also has two costumes, and so when I press the off button it will say make both the costume one. So let's press off. Because this is the stage where you can move things around, it still moves things if you're not exactly on board with the mouse. So here's the script for red light. So red light is highlighted. You can name each thing, so it's just for your own sake it's best to keep naming the things as you make them so that you can keep track of what you've done. So when I receive flashing light, and this is a call up from another script on button 1, so broadcast flashing light, so this broadcasts across to flashing light and says turn flashing light on. Again, when I receive off state at the end, when off button is pressed, when I receive off state, switch costume to power off, and it's also turning all the pins to low. This is the one I use to cycle these LEDs. So if I click that button there, these LEDs start doing their sequence. So this one sets pin 0 to output, pin 0 to high, wait 1 second, pin 0 to low, wait 1 second. So that's the 1 second on, 1 second off, 1 second on, 1 second off. And then half a second after that, so this one's broadcasting, and this one is then asking, hang on, that doesn't need to be in there, that block. And then this one waits half a second before it starts. So that's how they're coming on and off in sequence. If I took those weights out, then it would start up instantaneously. So half a second and 1 second. So that's how I've managed to get that going. What else have I done? So you can also add backgrounds to this as well. If I unselect all the sprites, I can add a background. I've got to stop it first, I think. Stop everything. Stage. It's a stage. Background. I can edit or I can import. So that's just for the sake of making things. Just add a background colour, just for the hell of it. Horrible looking green. So now we've got a green background to our button panel. There's a whole other bunch of functions I'm not across yet, but I'm getting there and having fun doing it, so I guess this is what it's all about. What else have I made and tinkered with? I've got open, save current project, yes. The output LED was just one LED. This 3 LEDs was the thing I did last. This one's still on because I haven't told it to go to off state. So if I go back to there and look at the power on, power off. Oh, still a light on. What's wrong here? Something's wrong here. Oh, okay, this is the other one. This isn't the one we were looking at previously. Open. No. Power weight, okay. Okay, so if I turn that on, and then press the off button, that should call them all to be low. Yeah, okay, so now they're all off. There's a whole bunch of other functions you got up here, but at the moment I'm having fun with this. So yeah, thanks for watching. Leave your comments and yeah, let me know what you think. Cheers.